actually earlier talked about what is a biological agent attack. Let me emphasize again. Biological agent attack is a deliberate release of biological agent with the intention to kill or to harm people. So largely they can be released into the environment by various methods. Aerosol spray, you can put it into your food, the water, infected organisms like rats and mosquito. And of course, some of the biological agents are contagious. For example, smallpox. What are the signs of a possible biological agent attack? So it's very important to know that biological agent attack, the effect is not as immediate compared to a chemical warfare agent. So for a chemical warfare agent, when you first breathe in, you will choke, you will cough, you will gasping for air. But for biological agent attack, it may not be immediately obvious, as there is an incubation period during which the effect of the agent are not observable, you can just even walk out of it normally. So it's very important, you need to look out for unusual powdery or gel-like substance or rather suspicious article, reports on trends of unusual illness in the community, and also waves of ill people seeking emergency medical attention. As you can recall, the Amerithreat in US in 2001, the anthrax-laden inside the article in the Post are being sent to officers. So this is the way they carry out an attack. You may not know. So in the event of a biological agent attack, due to the latent effects of biological agents, it takes time to identify and confirm a biological agent attack. As a result, public health officials may not be able to give you a very immediate information of what to take against an attack, because it may not know immediately. So it is recommended that you take the following actions. You need, again and again, like for example, during the COVID-19, it is the same thing. You need to practice good hygiene and cleanliness to avoid spreading of the agent. And you need to monitor the news closely for further information on the symptom of the biological agent and where to seek emergency medical care if you are affected. Because most of the time, MOH may designate one hospital, for example. I'm not sure. Designate just one hospital for anyone who are suspicious that they are being affected by the biological agent to go to. So if you are unsure, you must seek medical advice immediately. So what if you have been exposed or you suspected you have been exposed to a biological agent attack? So as I mentioned before, you may not suffer any obvious symptom, but you should quickly identify where the suspected biological agent release is. For example, is it in a room or is it in a hall? And you need to move away immediately. Cover your nose and mouth with a damp cloth while moving away from a source area. And more importantly, you need to call the MA, the management agent, the building management, and dial 999 or 995 to report that you may have been exposed to a biological agent. And leave your contact information should there be an urgent need to reach you. Because sometimes people just call, right? And then when our resources reach there and they cannot find anyone. So it is important, if you can, leave down your contact information. At the earliest opportunity, if you have the facility, shower thoroughly with water and soap and change into a clean set of clothing. Put all the dirty clothing that you have removed, put it into a bag and then seal it up and tie it up for proper disposal as instructed by authorities. If any of your colleagues, your family member becomes ill, you need to seek medical advice at the hospital indicated by the authorities. So what happens if you think someone has been exposed to the BA? So if you have adequate protection, for example, you have an N95 mask, you can help him to get away from the danger area, from the source. But more importantly is that, you know, that most of the time, right, as I mentioned before, biological agent effect is not immediate. The person that comes into contact with the BA should be able to walk away. But let's say, for example, if your colleague or whoever or your passerby have a heart attack, then you may want to pull him out from the source. As I mentioned before, if you only have adequate respiratory protection. And of course, dial for 999 to the police or 995. Either one is fine. If you suspect an article contains anthrax, for example, if you work in a mail room, you come across a lot of mails, parcels coming to a building. If you are suspicious of it, you find some powdery substance, call 995 or 999. Okay, inform the security management if you are in the building. Do not handle the article directly and do not sniff. I know a lot of people, right? Every time when they touch something, they like to take it and then you smell it. I do not know why. Everything, even if your shoes is dirty, right? You swap it and then you tend to smell it. So for this, please do not take and sniff the article, okay, or its exposed content. Please, if you can, do not attempt to clean up the spilled content. Just leave it and leave the room. If the article is already, let me go back. Okay, if the article is already open, if you have in the mail room, cover the exposed and the spilled content immediately with a plastic cover. That's shown here. It's like a acrylic box you can use it to cover, and you can even cover with your cloth, paper, or even a trash can. Anything you can use it to cover. Only if the article is already open. If the letter of the article is still enclosed, you can just leave it as it is. Do not remove the cover until the arrival of the authorities. I mean, either police or the SCDF. It's very important to turn off all local fans or ventilation units in the affected area. So let's say if your area it is a central control, so you may need to shut down the ventilation to prevent it to spread into other rooms. Okay, leave the room and close the door. You need to block off the area to prevent others from entering. Then you need to head to the nearest toilet or washing point. You wash your hands. You wash all your exposed skin with soap and water. If better, even still, go for a shower, as mentioned earlier. It is important to prepare a list of names and contact number of person whom you may know to be aware, know that is in the vicinity of the suspicious article, and hand the list over to the police for follow-up investigation. It's also for contact tracing, because once it's a confirmed case, when we send the sample back to the lab and it's a confirmed BA incident, we need to call all these people who are in contact with the article and send them to the hospital immediately. That's why contact list is very important in this manner.